Ladies and gentlemen, today's video is brought to you by Ace Dog. Anyway, so yesterday I uploaded a video, and the more I watched it, the more I figured out I was very unhappy with it. So this here is a Marlin Model 60. This particular one was made in 1976. Today I'm going to show you how to field strip it. And how you do that is you come here on the bottom of the gun, and you'll notice you have 1, 2, 3 screws. Now, the ones that you want to take out are these two. This one just holds the trigger assembly in place. So we're going to go ahead and do that real quick. And as always, get yourself some gunsmithing screwdrivers, because they are specific. So I'm going to take this screw out. Just like so. There it is. There's our first screw. And we take our second one out in the back here. Just like so. Try not to drop it. Try not to mar up your finish and all that, because we all like pretty guns. And we'll just take back the screw on out like so. Ooh, and as you can see, it just fell apart there. Now, as you notice, the trigger is right there. That's all there is to it. But the important parts that make it go bang are all these little parts inside the action here. So, in order to do the rest of this, what we're going to do is we're going to pull back, pull out, let it forward. To lock the bolt, you would pull it back and push it in. So pull back, pull out, let it forward, just to disengage that spring there. Then we're going to take our handy dandy gunsmithing screwdriver here. Mine, so the older ones have screws, and the newer ones are going to have pins. Mine has screws. So we'll take these screws off. Don't mix up the order these are in. As you can see, they're different sizes, so don't mix them up. So I like to put this one in the back here. Put this one over here. And these look like screws, but you can just sit here and turn them forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Well, the front ones are screws, but you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. Back one, you can just sit here and turn this sucker forever, and it won't come out. So, handy dandy trick for that. Take a screw or something, and you pull it out. As you can see, this is basically just a pin that you could put a screw in the end of. So I don't lose this. I'm going to put these two together, just like so. Now, this will just slide on out of here. Now, you see that red thing sticking out there? That's because I did a dummy, and I didn't pull the magazine tube out. And we'll set that off to the side. Now, to get this part out, this is the tricky part. So what you want to do is you want to depress this and lift up. There it is. You have completely, well, field stripped your Marlin Model 60. So, how this works is this is your bolt. This is in the gun. And here's your charging handle. It just sits on top of here like that. And as you can see, it can move back and forth to lock the bolt in the rear position. That is how that's done. Now we're going to put it back together. Just because having a handful, the quote, gun in the bag is not fun. So before you disassemble anything, always make sure you know how to put it back together. You would be amazed how many people don't do that. There we go. Try not to do that. This is the tricky part, is always getting it back together. So we're going to slide our charging lever in like that. There we go. Almost. Push that down in there, like so. And we can take our action. Make sure you put this end to the rear, because this keeps your bolt from smacking the end of that receiver. And it is just an aluminum receiver, so you want to be careful of that. And then it'll just sit in there like that. You'll put your screws in and all that. You all want to see it? Yeah, you want to see it. We'll show it to you. We'll let you see it. We'll put it all together, nice and pretty for you. So the reason why I'm doing this video, because the one that I put out yesterday, the more I watched it, the more I listened to it, the more I realized I hated it. Because I didn't show you guys exactly what I was doing in there, and exactly how I got the gun apart and all that. There we go. Put all the screws back together. That and the Ace dog kind of told me to do it. You know how that goes. You can't argue with the dog, because then you look like you're crazy. Alright, there's those ones. And we take this part, press this down, push that all the way through, get our screw here, go in this back hole here. Tighten that sucker down. Like so. There we go. It's all nice and tight. Now what I like to do before I stick anything together is I like to take it like so. Make sure it's all moving properly. Another thing you can do, which you really shouldn't do, is you can reach back in here. If you look right down in there, you can see that little L-shaped piece. That is actually where your trigger engages to fire said firearm. That's what your trigger smacks on to fire it. So I've now decocked it, and now I can slide it back again, and it all feels like it's working right. Good. Excellent. I love it when things work out right. Now we just take our 22 and everything here, slide her back into place like so, set it down, run our screws in. Almost forgot the position. Now you really want to pay attention to where these screws and pins are all coming from, because they are in fact different. The thread pitch and all that may be the same, but that doesn't mean it's right. Sometimes you gotta fight them. Come here, you. And the screw goes in right here. Just like so. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you field strip a Marlin Model 60, which is 22 long rifle only. So a little history about this. These hit production in 1959, I believe, and they've had many different iterations over the years. As you can see, I have the longer barrel with the longer magazine tube. Ta-da! It's nice. But I believe the modern ones, they are shorter barrels and they don't have the same, what's the word I'm looking for? The same round count. Also, they use thinner material or thinner metal for that magazine tube. This is a change that they made. I think on the originals they had a steel one, and it's a change they made to prevent this from corroding to the actual tube itself. But there's a lot of controversy as to which one's better, the 1022 or this guy, and there may be a video coming up about that here later. I got a buddy who just bought a 1022 takedown, so we'll see what we can do there. Anyway, guys, you all have fun with it. Get some good practice in, and have a good one.